What's up, everybody, man? It's your boy WQ. You already see what time it is, man. It is time to get to the quarterback controversy. Who should the Carolina Panthers take moving forward with Frank Rich as the new head coach? Who should we take to really take this whole entire franchise to the next level? And I am a betting man. If I was a betting man, I would say the guy that you see on the back of the screen is a good candidate to come in and really turn things around for this franchise. So without further ado, if you haven't already, make sure you come on in, like, subscribe to the channel, show us that love, as well as join our Discord where we have to mingle and we show love here because we are a family. So without further ado, enter Will Levis, the 6'3" senior coming from Kentucky University, 232 pounds. And a lot of people are now deeming this guy as possibly the number one quarterback in this entire draft, man. So without further ado, shout out to him for go ahead and just having himself being pushed up the line, man. Will Levis, you, sir, are a magician. I don't know how you did it, but you have pushed your way all the way up the line. So without further ado, I'm going to talk about a little bit about my expectations of Will Levis and what I've been seeing from him this past year before I get into a lot of the other stuff. Um, for me, I always liked Will Levis. I thought he had all the intangibles to come in and be a great quarterback. He has the size, he has the arm, he has the athleticism to be able to move out of the pocket and make runs that could get you first downs, as well as he has all of the arm talent to make every throw on the field. Now the problem is he takes a lot of risks, a lot of chances, a lot of stuff that you would say, no, don't do that. But that's something that could be coached. I'm very hopeful for a guy like this coming into the franchise. If the Carolina Panthers were to look his way, what would they do and how would they go about bringing him into the notion or the swing of things? I mean, you got to understand that in Kentucky, now I'm not going to make any excuses for him. This is a disclaimer before I get started on this. He had a horrible offensive line at Kentucky. And on top of that, he did not have any weapons. I've said this before. You look at Bryce Young, you look at CJ Stroud, these Heisman winning candidates, Caleb Williams and the guys, which they aren't in this draft, which he isn't in that draft. But you look at Bryce Young and CJ Stroud, they had a track team from tight end to receiver to throw to. It's another next man up option that they always can push out there and really make some noise with. Will Levis didn't have that option. I mean, hell, he didn't even have a running back that he could have a running game with. I mean, so let's just be real. It's either throw or bust for the Kentucky Wildcats with Will Levis back there behind center. I hate to say that. I hate to be that guy. Because like I said, I never want to be that guy that creates any type of excuses for someone. But look at, and this is where we're going to go into the stats. First of all, he had 2,400 yards, which was down from the year previous. But a lot of people like to say that he was banged up this year, and that's why his yards doesn't reflect what it did last year. Okay, we'll take that. Quarterback rating of a 60 on a scale of 1 to 100. It's not the best. 19 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. When you got guys like CJ and Bryce out there going out there throwing 40 touchdowns, that's a huge night and day difference. But this is the exception I want you all to look at. Now, hear me clearly when I say this. I'm zooming in and take a good look right here where my arrow is at the sack category. That's how many times he was sacked. Exactly how many times he was sacked in each game. And it's almost north of 4+ for almost every game. I mean, you go look and make no mistake about it. Miami Redhawks, who we all deem is not a ranked team, but they still won the game, but he got sacked 4 times. That's a problem. I mean, you look over at some of the teams over here, Tennessee with Hendon Hooker and the guys. They got him 4 times. That's a problem. I mean, Mizzou Mizzou got the guy 6 times. 6 times. But we can't sit here and say that this guy wasn't under duress. I mean, look at it. 5 times right here. 5 times for Northern Illinois. And should I continue? Vanderbilt got him 4 times. This guy was under duress the entire season. I mean, you look at his numbers, and to say that he was under that kind of duress, but he still go out there and give you 303 yards, 377, 303, 230, 206. I mean, you got to look at some games where he had back-to-back completion percentage rates that were high, 70, 75 right here and a 73. Those are the positives from him. Now, he'll go out and get sacked 5 times in this game from Northern Illinois and throw 4 touchdowns. That's huge. That's why everybody seems to be having him elevated amongst the greats when it comes to these next tier of guys. Because if you look at what he had to battle through with no receivers, a horrible offensive line, and still he went out there and competed, you got to give the guy some flack. You got to say, hey, from what we saw from him, he can only get better. So that's why I see he's climbing up everybody's totem poles over here, man. You got to acknowledge where the talent is with this guy. He has the talent to get the job done. I trust that with the right coach, possibly a Frank Rich, he could be an answer for the Carolina Panthers. Who knows? Because we just fixed our offensive line. We got a bevy of weapons with DJ Moore, and we're looking to draft some more. I mean, Deontay Foreman is there, but we don't know what this roster is going to look like once Frank Rich really put down his last say-so. But with that being said, if you need a quarterback that can sling that rock, you shouldn't overlook this guy. I believe that he's going to be highly touted after his workouts in the Senior Bowl, and I believe that it's going to only help him. It's going to only help him everything that we're getting ready to go through when it comes to the draft process. So I'm just saying, he doesn't have impressive numbers. He has some games where he throwing 2 touchdowns at 188, but he did just enough to win. Considering he lost to Georgia, like the big competition, he lost to Georgia, but he went out and threw 206 yards. He was highly efficient, 20 of 31. And like I said, he had 1 sack, he had a touchdown and an interception. I mean, that's the game where we said that Georgia's line is ridiculously out of this world, and they're going to have a lot of players that's going to be drafted, and he still managed to only get sacked 1 time. He competed. They lost 16-6. Not the most beautiful thing, but like I said, the question is for this video, should the Panthers consider Will Levis? Now, that's what I said. With Frank Rich and knowing his style of quarterback, he wants a big, bulky guy that can see the field and be able to make all the throws. And we all can agree that this guy on every level can make all the throws. His deep routes, I mean, he can make the deep ball, the intermediate passes, the short completions, the check downs. He can do it all. He even have graceful feet where he can run and get up out of that pocket if he need to. So he's a guy that you can coach up and get him the way you need to be. I mean, you got training camp, you got rookie camp, you got all this stuff that you can take the time to see where he's at. I think it's a guy that's worth taking because, like I said, to me, he's not a project. A lot of guys think that he's a project. I think that he'll be a made man here in Carolina, and I think that Frank Rich will go out and get him all the weapons that he needs to succeed. And so with that being said, I would love the prospect of having Will Levis in Carolina blue versus Kentucky blue. To me, it makes sense. And if you feel like how I feel, comment down below and let me know how you feel. Because like I said, I broke it down for you guys today. You want to know why he's going so high, and it's because of what he has to work with. He does not have a running back. He does not have a high receiver. All he has is that tight end. And like I said, beyond that tight end, his tight end a bust. So he had to go out there and make some heroic plays. You got to understand, you have to be careful in this day and age when you're throwing that football. And he had to take a lot of risks over there going across the middle. We understand all that right now, and I'm saying if the opportunity rolls and C.J. Stroud is gone and Bryce Young, I'll take Will Levis over Bryce Young just because of his frame and what longevity would look like better in the NFL. Because if we get a Bryce Young, I'd be afraid that he wouldn't make it long because of his frame. Look at Tua Tagovailoa. Perfect talent, can sling the rock, but can't stay on the field. I want a guy here in the long term. So, yes, if you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, show that love. Hit that Cash App as well. We got a lot of things going. If you're feeling really froggy, hit a super chat for your boys. Yeah, you already know what time it is, man. Show that love. Your boy Dub Q is in the building. Welcome to Between the Lines Podcast.